Good day everyone, I am Jose Steven Lasam, and for today's video, I am going to critique a book entitled The Life of Pi by Yann Martel. Yann Martel was born on June 25, 1960. He is a Canadian author best known for the Man Booker Prize and winning novel Life of Pi, an international bestseller published in more than 50 territories. Life of Pi is a Canadian philosophical novel by Yann Martel, published in 2001. The protagonist is Peasant Molitor, or Pi Patel, an Indian boy from Pondicherry who explores issues of spirituality and metaphysics from an early age. And at this time, please sit, relax, and listen as we will start now. Part 1 is narrated in the first person by Pi. Pi narrates from an advanced age, looking back at his earlier life as a high school and college student in Toronto. Then, and farther back to his boyhood in Pondicherry, he explains that he has suffered intensely and found solace in religion and zoology. He describes how Francis Adarabasumi, a close business associate of his father and a competitive swimming champion, taught him to swim and bestowed upon him his unusual name. Pi is named after the Peasant Molitor, a Parisian swimming club with two pools that Adarabasumi used to frequent. We learn that Pi's father once ran a Pondicherry zoo, teaching Pi and his brother Ravi about the dangerous nature of animals by feeding a live goat to a tiger before their young eyes. Pi brought up as a Hindu, discovers Christianity, then Islam, choosing to practice all three religions simultaneously, motivated by India's political strife. Pi's parents decided to move the family to Canada on June 21, 1977. They set sail in cargo ship along with a crew and many cages full of zoo creatures. At the beginning of part 2, the ship is beginning to sink. Pi clings to a lifeboat and encourages a tiger. Richard Parkers joined him. Then, realizing his mistake in bringing a wild animal aboard, Pi leaps into the ocean. The narrative jumps back in time as Pi describes the explosive noise and chaos of the sinking. Crew members throw him into a lifeboat, where he soon finds himself alone with a zebra, an orangutan, and a hyena, all seemingly in shock. His family is gone. The storm subsides, and Pi contemplates his difficult situation. The hyena kills the zebra and the orangutan, and then, to Pi's intense surprise, Richard Parker reveals himself. The tiger has been in the bottom of the lifeboat all along. Soon, the tiger kills the hyena, and Pi and Richard Parker are alone together at sea. Pi subsists on canned water and filtered seawater, emergency rations, and freshly caught sea life. He also provides for the tiger, whom he masters and trains. The days pass slowly and the lifeboat's passengers coexist rarely, during a bout of temporary blindness brought by dehydration. Pi has a run with another blind castaway. The two discuss food and tether their boats to one another, when the blind man attacks Pi, intending to eat him. In part 3, two officials from the Japanese Ministry of Transport interview Pi about his time at sea, hoping to shed light on the facts of the doomed ship. Pi tells the story as above, but it does not fully satisfy the skeptical mind. So he tells it again, this time replacing the animals with humans, a ravenous cock instead of a hyena, a sailor instead of a zebra, and his mother instead of the orangutan. The officials note that the two stories match and that the second is far likelier. In their final report, they commend Pi for living so long. Richard Parkers kills him. Not long after, the boat pulls up to a strange island of trees that grows directly out of vegetation, without any soil. Pi and Richard Parker stay here for a time, sleeping in their boat and exploring the island during the day. Pi discovers a huge colony of mercats who slept in the boat and exploring the island during the day. Pi discovers a huge colony of meerkats who slept in trees and freshwater ponds. One day, Pi finds human teeth in a tree fruit and comes to the conclusion that the island eats people. He and Richard Parker head back out to sea, finally washing ashore on Mexican beach. Richard Parker runs off and villagers take Pi to hospital. Which Life of Pi story is true? Is Life of Pi a true story? The book of Life of Pi is not based on a true story, and it is a fictional story that is based on Yann Martel's novel of the same name, that released in 2001. However, director Ang Lee wanted to have depth and realism. What does the tiger symbolize in Life of Pi? Soon after the cook is killed by Pi, who thus dines on him, the investigators note parallel between the two stories. They soon conclude that the hyena symbolizes the cook, and the zebra is a sailor, and the orangutan was Pi's mother, and tiger represents Pi. Why did Pi create Richard Parker? Parker is the version of himself that Pi has invented to make his story more palatable, both to himself and to his audience. Is Pi afraid of Richard Parker? When Richard Parker reveals himself, it's Pi who afraid. This at first fear is the nature of their relationship. Pi finds himself stranded on the furthermost point of the lifeboat trying to avoid the claws and teeth of the tiger. He even spends several days floating on improvised crabs to avoid being near to him. Here are 8 lessons of the life of Pi. First, we need to treat our animal friends better. Pi learns this is a number of ways, but most profoundly by being stranded alone on the boat with Richard Parker, the tiger. Although they don't have very close friendship, their reliance on each other for survival illustrates one key point: mutual respect. More than 50 billion animals around the world will be killed for food this year. Most of them will live in horrific conditions. When we begin to treat our animals friends with more respect, I guarantee we'll see bigger changes in other areas of our lives as well. Now, what does the story of Pi tell us about human and animal relationship? The Book of Life of Pi by Yann Martel shows the relationship between man and animal. When humans interact with animals, either a positive or negative relationship is formed. With many types of animals, this bond improves the quality of life for the person. Is Pi Patel real? Life of Pi even flirts with non-fiction genres. The author's note, for example, claims that the story of Pisin Martel is a true story that the author Yann Martel heard while backpacking through Bonangerie, and the novel, with its first-person narrates, is structured as a memoir. The third was, there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Pi and Richard Parker finds ways to make the best of their experiences. They are alone in the worst possible way, stranded in the ocean, but they manage to keep from being lonely through the power of story and the magic that they witness of all around them. And the fourth was, forgiveness is always the right choice. Pi lost everything by no fault of his own. For some people, this could create resentment and anger, but he managed to take it all in stride and forgive in the situation. To hold on to the anger and pain would be let those situations control his life. We may never forget, but we can always forgive. It's a religion of mechanism. Young Pi earnestly explores many different religions while his father laughs at his gullible yet precious interest. As the story unfolds, you will learn the important lesson that religion is not the end, simply a means to our own deeply personal understanding of the world and beyond. This awareness and acceptance could help us avoid wars, bigotry, and intolerance around the world. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Pi and Richard Parker finds ways to make the best of their experiences. They are alone in the worst possible way, stranded in the ocean, but they manage to keep from being lonely through the powers of story and the magic that they witness all around them. In the same token as forgiveness, we also can take things too personally. Pi didn't succumb to the gravity of his situation and just sit there feeling sorry for himself. He understood that there was an opportunity in his predicament, no matter how extreme or unfair it seemed. And 6 was, don't give up. Whatever it is you're committed to, there will be obstacles along the path. At times, it may seem impossible, but when you truly believe in achieving your goal, you can give up no matter how daunting the outlook is. Like Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. The 7th was, perspective changes everything. How we choose to see a situation in the situation, whether it's good or bad, is always up to us. We always have the power to instantly change our perspective and thus change the outcome of any circumstances. And lastly, stories are our greatest teachers. We can often illustrate and cope with two situations through the powerful lens of imagination. It is helpful for our own understanding as it is for others to relate to a situation. And in some cases, it's all we ever really have. That would be all about the life of Pi. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.